I took the night shift at the Lakeview Motor Inn because it was the only job that fit around my classes. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., 4 nights a week. The pay was just enough. The work was mostly nothing. Checking an occasional late arrival, answering phones that rarely rang, watching whatever I want on my laptop behind the desk. The Lakeview was a kind of motel that exists on the edge of every mid-sized American city. 32 rooms in an L shape around a parking lot, a vending machine that worked only if you kicked it, an ice machine that was always out of ice. Pool closed for renovation since before I started. The sign out front was missing the V in Lakeview, so it read Lake IW, and nobody had fixed it. Most nights, maybe a third of the rooms were occupied. Truckers on long routes, couples from out of town, occasionally someone between apartments who'd pay week to week. Unremarkable people in unremarkable circumstances. Passing through. I liked it. The quiet suited me. The man in room 9 checked in on a Tuesday in November. I remember him clearly because he was unusual in the small ways that register without you knowing why. He was older, mid-60s, I'd say, with a very still quality about him. Not nervous still, not tired still, just settled. He paid cash, which wasn't uncommon. He gave a name, Gerald Marsh, and a home address in a town I didn't recognize. He asked for a room away from the road. I gave him room 9, end of the east wing, last door before the fence, quiet. He took his key, an actual metal key, we hadn't upgraded the cards, and walked toward his room without asking about Wi-Fi or checkout time or any of the things guests usually asked. He didn't have much luggage. A single bag, mid-sized, carried easily. I watched him on exterior camera until he unlocked room 9 and went inside. The light in the window came on. I went back to my laptop. The next morning, the day's shift clerk, a woman named Patrice who had worked there for 11 years, mentioned that room 9's do not disturb sign had been on all morning. He probably just wants to sleep, I said. Probably, she said. She had a way of agreeing. That didn't mean she agreed. He'd paid for 3 nights. The sign stayed on. Housekeeping skipped the room. This was normal procedure. On the second night, I noticed something. At 2:17 a.m., the key return box, a small locked box on the desk where guests drop keys on late checkouts, had room 9's key in it. I looked at it for a moment, looked at the camera monitor showing the parking lot, looked at the exterior camera for the east wing. The light in room 9's window was on. I went to check. This is the part where people ask why, and the answer is that it was my job. If a key was returned, the room was either empty or had been accessed by someone without a key. Both required a check. I knocked on room 9. Housekeeping check, I said, which was a standard phrase. No answer. I used the master key and opened the door. The room was occupied. Suitcase open on the luggage rack. Toiletries on the bathroom counter. A book face down on the nightstand. The bed had been slept in. The TV was on low, playing something with the sound almost off. No one there. The bathroom was empty. The closet was empty. I checked under the bed out of thoroughness. I didn't fully understand. I went back to the desk and looked at the key return box. Room 9's key was not in it. I checked the box carefully. Checked my own pockets. Checked the floor around the desk. The key was not in the return box. It had not been there. I had looked directly at it, and I had been wrong. I logged a note in the shift book, checked room 9, occupied, all fine, and I did not write down the part about the key. On the third night, at 1:40 a.m., the exterior camera for the east wing showed the door to room 9 opening. A figure stepped out. Male, dark jacket, the right approximate build for Gerald Marsh. He walked to the end of the wing and turned the corner toward the parking lot. I switched to the parking lot camera. The camera covered the lot completely. I watched the timestamp tick, 1:41, 1:42, 1:43. No one came around the corner. No one crossed the parking lot. No one got into any of the cars. I went through the footage 3 times. The figure left room 9 at 1:40. He turned the corner at 1:41. He did not appear on the parking lot camera at any point. The corner between the east wing and the parking lot was 6 feet wide. There was nowhere to go except the parking lot, or back the way he came, and the east wing camera showed him not returning. I sat with that for a long time. At 3:15 a.m., the light in room 9 came on. His checkout was Wednesday at 11. I was off that morning. I'd worked the overnight and left at 7. Patrice was on the desk. I called her that afternoon. Room 9 checkout okay? I asked. Pause. Room 9 was empty, she said. When I went to check at 11, the key was on the nightstand. Room was clean. I mean, not clean by us. Already clean, like it had been tidied. His stuff? I asked. Gone, she said. Everything gone. Bed was made. Towels folded on the rack. She paused again. Daniel, she said. She always called me by name when she was being serious. What was his checkout time? Did you give him an extended? Standard, I said. 11. He came to the desk at 6:48 a.m., she said. Before my shift. I have it on the lobby camera. He handed the key to whoever was at the desk. I had left at 7. The clerk who covered the gap between my shift and Patrice's was a part-timer named Joel, who came in at 6:30. I called Joel. 6:48. I said, East Wing guest, room 9. Do you remember him checking out? Joel was quiet for a moment. Nobody came to the desk between 6:30 and 7, he said. I was there the whole time. I remember because it was quiet and I was watching something. He had not checked out at the desk. The lobby camera showed him checking out at 6:48 a.m. Joel had been at the desk. I pulled all the camera footage for room 9 stay. 3 nights. Exterior East Wing camera. He entered on Tuesday evening. Correct. Tuesday night. No exits recorded between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. Wednesday night. The 1:40 a.m. exit I had already seen, and nothing on the parking lot camera. Thursday morning. Gerald Marsh exits room 9 at 6:47 a.m., walks toward the lobby, turns a corner. Does not appear on the lobby camera. Does not appear on the parking lot camera. Does not appear anywhere on any camera after turning the corner from the East Wing, except the lobby camera, which showed him at the desk at 6:48 a.m. And Joel, who was at the desk from 6:30, who saw nobody. I filed an internal report. The manager, a man I'd spoken to maybe 4 times, reviewed the footage and concluded there was a camera sync issue, a 1-minute gap in the lobby feed where the timestamp had stuttered. He showed me the technical log. He was probably right. I looked up Gerald Marsh of the town he'd listed on his registration. The town exists. I found it. Small, rural, about 4 hours from the motel. I found a Gerald Marsh associated with that town in a newspaper archive. A brief notice. He had died in 2019. I know what you're thinking. Common name, different person. Almost certainly a different Gerald Marsh, and the address on the registration might not have even matched. I hadn't memorized it, and the records were stored in a system I no longer had access to after I left the job in December. I left in December. I think about the footage sometimes. The figure turning the corner. The 6-foot gap between one camera and the next. The room tidied as if no one had ever been there. Towels folded on the rack. I think about the key in the return box that wasn't there when I checked again. Whether I imagined it. Whether the alternative is worse. Patrice retired last spring. I sent her a message when I heard. She replied quickly, warmly. At the end she wrote, Room 9 always gave me a feeling. I never said anything because there's nothing to say, but I'm glad I'm not there anymore. I wrote back and asked what kind of feeling. She never replied to that one.